Welcome to Aggregate Conversations podcast. Welcome to Aggregate Conversations podcast, a space where inspirational leaders meet to discuss challenges and solutions our planet and its people face today. We intend to capture these conversations to increase awareness, encourage engagement, and inspire others to follow in the steps of these leaders striving to make the world a better place. Today we have Paget Hargreaves, currently based in Brisbane, Australia, a founder and senior executive with years of experience in various businesses and currently the CEO of Aggregate Foundation, whom we'll hear about shortly. Hi, Paget. How are you today?
Hi, Cons. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Thank you so much for your time and jumping on this podcast.
Oh, thank you for yours.
Wonderful. So how about we start with introducing the audience to yourself? Tell us a little bit more about your background and what you're currently working on.
Sure. I was fortunate enough to be born in Malaysia, and I was brought up around the Far East, so kind of sort of saw many cultures and religions and different countries and how they make their livelihoods, and sort of as a kid you soak these things up as a sponge. So I consider myself very lucky to have seen all of that. I went to university. I am English. Came to Australia in '92. A company I worked for in London, a French company, moved me out here. Asked me to come to Australia, and I ended up working for a few years in sort of financing and looking at investments in companies for a high net worth in Australia. And then in sort of around 2000, looked more into sustainable businesses, even early stage of renewable energies and so forth, and became a founder of a company called Sundrop Farms.
Amazing. And that led you to Aggregate Foundation in some interesting way.
Well, it did. Sundrop was a sort of global first. What we were trying to show was that you could take seawater, desalinate it with the sun, build greenhouses and grow crops in arid climates with no pesticides, zero carbon footprint, and making our own water, because there's only 2% fresh water really left on the planet. So we've got to be very careful with it. We've wasted a lot. So that was ag tech. That was a few years bringing that together. It's now today up running, and I stepped away from the board many years ago. But it's producing 15,000 tons plus per year of tomatoes, the lowest cost producer. Amazing. And uses solar thermal energy at the core of it, and desalinate seawater using multiple effect distillation. So that spurred my interest in a lot of ag tech. Looked at a few other. I was asked to be a founder and a president of a medicinal cannabis company in Canada, which for many great purposes, from epilepsy, diabetes, to trying to get people off opiates and so forth. So and that led to, I came across AgriUT, loved what it's trying to do, really admirer of the people, the technology at the core of it, and what they've done. Approached David Davies, the founder, and we got on from there, and that's how the connection started.
Amazing. And then so tell us a bit more about Aggregate Foundation. How is that? What is Aggregate Foundation? And
absolutely. Well, AgriUT itself has been going since 2016 and has successfully got a few thousand farmers on its platform, and that helps them increase the farmers' revenues. It's like an accountancy sort of platform for farmers at the bottom of the food pyramid. So what we wanted to do, we thought, how can we connect? We would like to connect consumers and the public direct to these farmers. It's never been done before. There's no way to donate like that. Usually when we've donated in the past, we give calls, we tax, if there's certain fees and charges taken off it, we don't know who it really goes to and how much gets to them in the end. So we thought, well, why don't we do something different? Why don't we create our own foundation? We've got the platform where we can connect a consumer through QR codes directly to farmers who have got smartphones already from AgriUT. So July last year, we set up the foundation, and we minted 3 billion Aggregate tokens, which really is pretty much like a gaming token. As long as we have enough farmers who can receive them, and enough good-hearted people that want to help the farmers and help them lift out of poverty, then people donate to the foundation, and we gift them some AgriUT, which is the name of the token, and they can reward that. They can go onto our AgriWard site. It's quite cool. You can go on and choose which farmers you want to reward to, which categories, and so forth. So it's and that goes through in minutes with no fees from us, no fees from the banks, nothing. And you know who it's going to because you've chosen that farmer. So that's what the foundation does. And as people donate to the foundation and we gift them the AgriUT, we build up cash reserves. And then we go and look at doing some impact projects in emerging countries, particularly Africa, Indonesia, and PNG.
Wow.
But we are looking to expand that to the Pacific Islands and perhaps a couple of other regions as well.
That's really powerful, because I think if anyone has tried to send money overseas, to anyone, we know that it takes a long time. There's usually a lot of fees involved. So having a mechanism to send something directly to these farmers is very powerful in this day and age.
It is. And I do speak from experience. I remember my father and my brother were sponsoring some children in Africa, and I was about 20, and I thought, geez, if they're doing it, I better do it too. And so I did it. But I you know what's weird? I still remember the name of that girl. Her name was Akimbo Abarish, and I got a feeling she was in Ghana, but I never know how much got to her, what. But anyway, we've got technologies now, blockchain. We can distributed ledgers. We can know when money's sent. We can safeguard it, take fees off it, and go and send it direct to whoever we want. So. And these farmers, they then use it. One might ask, what do they do with it? Well, they can go and use goods and services. We have shops and wanting to come online and use AgriUT, so they can go and buy stuff there. So it's going to be very interesting.
It's a whole ecosystem that you're creating where the farmers don't have to rely on cash and can use this token to purchase goods and services within their community. That's really
right.
Really,
I mean, it's got so many. We probably wouldn't have time for this podcast, but when a farmer takes his cocoa beans in or coffee to a co-op, now they can get properly receipted through their phone, which is provided by AgriUT, and there'll be an app soon, so anyone with a smartphone can download the app. They get code with the co-op. Yes, we've got your beans. And they can get paid in AgriUT. Particularly interesting here is. A lot of these smallholder farmers are women, probably over half. So if they're taking their crop in, people know they're going to come out with cash. And even if they get home with that cash, do you think it stays around long? Probably not. So if it's in some sort of token that it's hers, she keeps, proprietary ownership of it. No one else can access it. Some very interesting things here. It's financial inclusion, really, what we're trying to sort of. It also makes these farmers eligible for microfinance to go and get crop insurance and things, because they can actually say, I've got receipts for payment of my goods. So
they've got the record.
Is the oil that makes all of this work.
Yeah, amazing. And so this is a good time to lead into the question of how is the foundation going to fund itself and achieve all of this big vision and mission?
Yeah. Well, it might sound like a big vision, but it's very achievable. We're already sort of able to do it. We're just waiting for our DGR status at the moment, which is deductible gift recipient, so we can give tax exemption to donors. Once we hopefully get that, then we market the foundation. Who doesn't want to help these farmers? Only a few cents here and there. You could buy, give $10 to the foundation, or if you're a large, well, I'll come to the corporates in a moment. But if you're a public, my son, for instance, $10, he'll get, it's $1, it's 1 cent for every AgriUT. You'll get gifted some AgriUT, and then you can go and choose the farmer. So that will bring funds in and raise our cash reserve. But really how we'll make the serious money in the foundation to spend on impact investments is through the corporate partnerships that we want to bring in, where someone might be a mining company or a renewable energy company or in the food industry themselves. And they give a larger donation, and they can use the AgriUT, perhaps, especially if they're in the food industry, in their own supply chains as well, perhaps. So that's where it's going to become very interesting. We'll build up some cash reserves. And in the foundation, we have a funding and allocation committee where, a partner can propose. Actually, so there's a form for EOI to propose a project to us. We'll look at it, see if it meets our criteria, then we can invest in it with them. But these will be, as you would imagine, impact investments to help the smallholder farmer and his community.
Okay, amazing. And that's leads you mentioned corporate partnerships, and we've seen on the website there's a topic Aggregate Consortium. Can you tell us a little bit more around what is the consortium and how people can get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the website would be the first port of call, or any emails or mobile numbers anyone has for us. We're contactable. We have quite large social media out there on LinkedIn and other channels. So, yeah, as I said, it's really to sort of to attract like-minded companies with strong ESG principles who they can donate to the foundation. They know the projects the sort of projects we're going to invest in, and when we do invest in them, everyone will get to work. We'll make them very publicly declared. And essentially sort of they can actually use the aggregate to give to their staff. They can award it as Christmas bonuses, or they can use it in their own supply chains, or they can so many things they can do with it. So, but these are companies that might be, I don't want to name any names, but as I said, large players in the fast moving FMCG market, fast moving consumer goods. It might be mining and energy companies. And a few dollars here and there, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if we can build up the love of this and the support of it, then on scale it's massive. So with coffee companies, for instance, or chocolate companies, we will be having QR codes in the bags or in the wrappers, where someone will be able to scan it with their phone, get the provenance of where that's come from, back to the farmer in the village who made that coffee or cacao or the beans, and donate, just push a button and donate some aggregate to them without even buying it, because we'll be managing that back end of it. So yeah, I think that's really cool. I want to give Fatima from Ethiopia 20 cents. Bang, goes through. It's unique, and we've already done this. It's no proof of concept. We have the farmers out there. We have aggregate donated already. In fact, we've got hundreds of testimonials of farmers holding up phones and just talking about, saying thank you so much, we received the aggregate, now we can we understand how to use it and so forth. So that's good.
Yeah, amazing. And so the proof of concept has happened, it started, farmers are receiving these tokens. What's the roadmap for the foundation and the next steps to continue trying to scale this very innovative, unique initiative up?
Well, that's basically just you just said it there in one word: scaling up. Scale. We need to get the public aware of this. We need to get the corporation. First step really is get our charity status confirmed with DGR status, and we can give tax exemption to the large corporates, and then we can really go and start marketing the foundation, looking at what sort of projects we're going to invest in. We have quite a strong carbon credit pathway. These farmers would know how to. What a carbon credit is, they'll learn how to do it, and a lot of so we've been taking a bit of guidance from the World Bank and Global Environment Facility and other agencies and associations, because we have a lot of farmers that we can access. Perhaps we can help them along the way. It takes 2 to 3 years to get a carbon credit. We can incentivize them with certain milestones and with aggregate along the way, and then and it might be tree planting, manure management, water management, so many things that they work across already. And then they end up with the carbon credit as well. So we can sort of manage that as custodians for them, ostensibly.
Amazing. The carbon credits topic is something I don't think we have time to go into today, but I'd love to get you back on a future episode that we can dive deep into it, because it really is a unique space. And when you're trying to support the smallholder farmers connect to the space, that's again, a whole nother set of challenges and solutions to talk about.
Yeah, and we're of course a non-profit foundation, so this is all going to be open book, all transparent. It's I've had many a conversation with indigenous leaders here and overseas. There's some scrutiny about carbon credits. There is some hasn't always had the best reputation in some instances. And have the original landowners really benefited? Well, this will be a great way to sort of do that as well.
Definitely. Please have a think of if there's anyone you'd like to invite onto the next session, because it would be interesting to get a few perspectives on this, the good and the bad.
I think of many.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. And I think just to wrap up the conversation, is there any way that the audience can contribute to this mission? Like, how can they support AgriUT Foundation?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the best way would be go to the website, see how you could, read it, have a look at a couple of videos on there. email us if you've got any questions. Happy to answer any questions. We've got a great team on board. And then, really just buy some aggregate. You'll be passed through and directed very step by step how to get some aggregate. Buy $5 worth, $10 worth. See, I tell you what, the feeling you get when you pull up the AgriUT.com site, or is it .org? I can't remember right now.
.org for the website. Yeah,
AgriAwards.org, and you see these fantastic smiling faces and their names and what regions they're from and what industries they're. I'm in cocoa, I'm in coffee, I'm in honey. And choosing them is just, you feel great, and it's really, it's very altruistic, and we're using the blockchain and the smarter technologies available to us now to do this. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. It's been really interesting to hear about it. I really feel that there's humans like yourself that are working on these innovative projects is what's going to change the world and make the world a better place. So thank you for all the effort and innovative work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. And thank you for doing the interviews, and thank you for the work you do.
Thank you so much. Look forward to the next session. So next episode, we'll bring on David Davies, the CEO and founder of AgUnity, so he can share a bit more about their story, and really look forward to future sessions. I think we've got some interesting panels and topics lined up in the coming months. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for joining, Paget.
Thank you very much, Carmen.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.